So I've had this idea for a while now, but I kept it in the bank. I don't know why. But essentially, your children will have to fight the battles you won't. And you might be familiar with the concept of inheritance. Right? It's when your parents die, their properties and their belongings will be left to you most of the times, unless it says otherwise in their will. A will is a letter that they write, which is like a legal document for who gets to like take their stuff, their shares of whatever it is. Anyway, the thing with inheritance is at at core it means that what you take from your parents, from your creators, and we can all agree that most of our life, right, up until we're 18 years old, we live with our parents, and these are the two people, or mostly two people, that we spend the most time with. I'm not talking about specific cases where you have single parents or are an orphan, but in a majority of people's lives, two parents live with them mostly, and these are the people that will most influence you. Because up until we were like 10 years old, we all believed our parents were the equivalent of God, right? I used to think my dad's a genius because I would think of stuff and I would be like, yeah, this just does not make sense. How can someone ever comprehend it? My dad comes along all Sigma and shit, and I ask him about it, and he just explains it all to me, and he knows everything about this topic. And I was like, damn, bro, you're a genius. And see, even though some people hate their parents, right? Some people hate the things their parents have done, we still inherit their qualities and the shitty things about their personas. Because let's say that, because I'll share an example. So, like, my father has his issues with anger management, and for a while, so did I. I'm not gonna sit here and say I've transformed into some sort of a saint. I'm just gonna say that I don't get angry anymore, and I used to get angry a lot, just like him, just like he does, but I don't anymore because I found a way to fix it. I researched. I studied. Shout out Luke Belmar. But yeah, just like that, if suppose your parents have cheated, right, you will have the tendencies of cheaters. If your parents have a habit of lying, right, or have a habit of being dishonest, unfaithful, whatever it is, you will at least have the tendency to at your core. Because if someone is a cheater, their actions will correlate to those of a cheater, even though these actions might seem completely unrelated, which would essentially make you follow these actions because at the end of the day and at the start of the day, they are essentially your first guide to life. So now that you do these actions, you will meet other people who also have these same set of actions that they perform, these habits, these behavioral patterns, these neuro linguistic programs and shit. And these people are cheaters. So essentially, you are with a bunch of people, all right? And this is very generalized, by the way. Essentially, you are with a bunch of people who have the same tendencies to cheat. So if they do cheat, they will justify it, right? And when things are justified, they just assume that they're right, and then it keeps happening. And even though you did not want to cheat, you had those tendencies, you had a group of people who had those same tendencies, who did the action, justified it. Now you think that that wasn't that wrong of an action because, whatever justification they give, like their significant other was not that loyal at all. Did you know the shit that he did? Yeah, it's way worse than me cheating on him, darling. And then it's like, since they justified it, and you think they're good people because they're your friends, right? Why else would you be friends with them? That would just be crazy. If my friends are bad people, that would mean I'm a bad person. Oh no, they are good people. Meh. And then you do it, right? Now you're a cheater. Why? Because you inherited it from your parents, essentially took it all the way throughout your life without having a single clue it was with you, and now you just let it out, and you don't even feel like it's wrong because that's all you've been doing all your life. And slowly, step by step, you upgraded your way, or essentially downgraded your way to becoming a cheater. And it won't be clear as day as cheating or disloyalty is most of the time. There will be hidden programs as well. There's gonna be things like hints of sloth, lust, agony, just pain that they've kept inside, which just made you keep yours inside for no reason, no apparent reason. Of course, the reason is them, but there's no apparent reason for that happening to you as well, because it's latent. You can't notice something which you don't know exists within someone unless it's clear as day. And that's why you need to watch out for yourself, right? You need to just look, analyze, observe, and conclude constantly throughout your life. You have to choose to keep learning because you can always be thinner, look better. Reference, but you can always be a better person. And that should motivate you enough to keep going, to keep improving, regardless of the things you do. And I feel like, in my personal experience, I have had this like amazing obsession with having kids. I know, certified red flag. Like, there's all these Instagram reels about how, like, oh, men after wanting to be a dad. And it's like, what? What is wrong with you? What do you mean, bro? Like, that's such a cool thing to want, to be a father to someone, like to guide someone through life, to teach them things that I wish I would have been taught sooner. Right? My dad went through life, and he had his own troubles, his own battles, and now he's just guiding me. He's advising me to go throughout my life, not making the same mistakes he did. And this is what I'm gonna also be doing for my children. And that's beautiful. That is the most beautiful thing a man can do. It is to take care of his children, to take care of his successor, regardless of if whether they're his or if they're adopted or some other situation. To be a mentor, to be a guide, to teach people the ways of life without having to let them experience the bad things the hard way. That is beautiful. And sometimes it won't seem as beautiful because if people don't learn the hard way, they're never essentially gonna grasp the intensity of the thing you're trying to teach them. And sometimes that will lead to them going the hard way, learning that way, and you'll feel disappointed because I told you so. But yeah, that's just a part of life, and it will happen. Of course, we have to embrace a few bad things. What's life without the troubles? What's life without pain? It's nothing. So yeah, this obsession with kids has led me to fight my own battles and not keep ignoring this stuff. Right? I have had my own shit with anger, with lust, with sloth, with pride, I don't ever think I was greedy, but let's say a bit with greed as well. And every single moment, every single day, as long as I remember that if I don't face this, my kids will have to. And a simple example for this would be poverty. If you're poor, your kids are gonna have to start their life as poor at least. But if you get rich, now your kids don't have much of a disadvantage. The same way, if you are not lustful, if you are not greedy, if you are not lazy, if you work hard, if you don't get angered so easily, if you are capable of defending your family, if you are capable of not being boastful, if you are a humble person, guess what your kids will see? The actions, the habits, the behavioral patterns, the neurolinguistic programming of a person who possesses all those qualities. And they will follow that person because she is their parent. And as a result, they become the same type of person. So if you want your kids to be good people, just be good people, right? Because you can't be a shitty person and then tell your kids that not to do the things you did, right? Because that's like, oh, don't follow me, but you're a kid, so you have to follow someone, and now they are forced to follow you. Because if they don't follow you, what are they gonna do? What can they do, man? What can they do? Like, it's like parents sometimes like protect their kids from just going like far from home, going away with friends, hanging out every single day or some shit. Or even mine get concerned even if I have like 4 or 5 hangouts in a like in a month, right? But the thing is, if you don't let that happen because you're scared of the bad people influencing your kids, what's up with the bad things about yourself? If you don't improve those, your kids are probably gonna end up like you too, and you don't want that, do you? Right? It is a reality some people have to face. They think their time has come. So they think with this mindset that, oh, at least I can save my kid for now, right? I'll just keep him with me. I'll keep him safe. I'll make sure he doesn't do the same things I did. But he will do the same things you did because he is your kid at the end of the day. It could be a girl because she is your kid at the end of the day. This is why we have to be better people for our kids to be better people. And the problems in your life, the behavioral issues, whatever it is that's passed down from your parents to you, make sure you fix it before you have kids or before you even conceive the child. Make sure you fix it, man. Because we don't want our kids to face the same troubles that we did. They will face troubles, of course, but we don't want it to be the extent as it was to us. At least in my personal experience, I wouldn't wish my worst experiences on my worst enemies. Even though I have no enemies, if I had one, I would not wish it on them. All right. Yeah, that's all for the day. Good night.